You think you understand what rest is. You schedule it into your busy calendar, chase it through endless weekends, and sometimes even dread it as just another obligation. But what if the rest God truly commanded, the Sabbath He actually intended, is far deeper than any break you've ever taken? What if it's an invitation to something more profound, something that reorients your very soul rather than just recharging your body? You felt it, haven't you? That persistent, low-level buzz of exhaustion, even after a long Sunday. That restlessness that gnaws at you, even when your body is still, your phone is off, and the house is quiet. We live in a world that constantly confuses stillness with comfort, inactivity with true restoration. You can binge-watch, you can scroll endlessly, you can even sleep in late, but often, the deepest currents of your spirit remain untouched. They're not revitalized. You close your eyes, but your mind races. You sit in silence, but your heart yearns for something more. You try to rest, but find only an empty echo of peace. This isn't about simply stopping your work. This isn't about mere cessation of effort. It's about beginning an entirely different kind of work, a work of the Spirit. A profound spiritual posture, an invitation to a sacred pause that recalibrates your entire being. This isn't about escaping, it's about engaging. What if the rest you've been seeking isn't found in what you do less, but in what you do differently? What if it's found not in the absence of activity, but in the presence of something sacred? What if it's not just a day off, but a divine appointment? Leonard Ravenhill, a voice that thundered with prophetic urgency, understood this deeply. He knew that the church, and by extension the individual believer, often missed the essence of God's commandment. He saw a people exhausted not by work, but by the lack of true spiritual refueling. He saw a world confusing leisure with liberation. And you perhaps have felt that same subtle misalignment in your own life. That quiet dissatisfaction, that sense that there's a missing piece in your peace. The world offers distractions, promises of escape, but the soul yearns for something far more substantial. It yearns for a sacred pause. A sacred pause is a break born not from mere physical exhaustion, but from spiritual intention. It's a moment when the relentless noise of the world recedes, and the quiet, steady whisper of the divine becomes clear. This isn't a passive retreat. It's an active engagement with the very heart of God's design for you. A sacred pause isn't just a break from your daily labors. It's an entry into a different kind of work. A work of love, of listening, of deep surrender. It's a reorientation, a spiritual anchor in a restless existence. Before we take another step in this journey, before we unravel the layers of misunderstanding, I ask for a conscious decision from you. Not just casual listening, but a commitment of your spirit. If you're truly here, truly present in this moment, truly ready to explore this deeper truth, share a simple phrase in the comments below. Let it be a marker of your presence, a quiet declaration of your intention to listen with an open heart. Write these words: "My soul seeks truth." It's a small gesture, yes, but it anchors your spirit to this moment. It prepares the ground within you for what's to come. It's a vow you make to yourself. And to the one who calls you to this deeper rest, this isn't about quick fixes or empty promises of instant peace. We're not offering magic formulas here. This is about clarity. This is about truth. This is about dismantling the common, often superficial understanding of rest and rebuilding a foundation that can truly support the weight of your life, your purpose, your calling. Stay with us. Stay until the end, because the perspective you're about to gain, the deep understanding that will unfold, may be exactly what your weary, seeking spirit has longed for, without even knowing its name. It's time to rediscover what true rest really means. The world, you see, has sold us a diluted version of rest. It promises escape. It offers distraction. It tells you to collapse, to numb yourself, to fill the void with endless scroll or endless shows. But collapsing is not connecting. Numbing is not nourishing. Distraction is not discernment. You might feel a temporary reprieve, a fleeting quiet, but deep down, that ache remains. That spiritual hunger persists. It's the difference between merely pausing a machine and truly recalibrating its core. Think about it. You work hard all week. You rush through errands, manage family, navigate the daily grind. Then Saturday arrives, or Sunday. What do? Often you trade one set of demands for another. You catch up on chores. You run more errands. You plan social events. You consume media until your eyes blur. You call it rest because your hands aren't on the keyboard, or you're not in the office. But your mind is still racing. Your spirit is still striving. Is that truly the Sabbath God commanded? Or is it simply a different kind of labor, disguised as leisure? Leonard Ravenhill, in his piercing wisdom, often spoke of a church that had lost its spiritual appetite, confusing activity for anointing and mere cessation for true communion. He saw a generation chasing after shadows of peace when the substance was waiting to be embraced. He would challenge the very notion of rest as a passive state. For him, the divine invitation was always to an active engagement with the holy, not a retreat from God, but a deeper draw to Him. This is where the profound contrast lies. The world's rest is often about emptying yourself of effort. God's rest is about filling yourself with His presence. You might say, but I need to relax, I need to unwind. And yes, you do. But what if the deepest unwinding, the most profound relaxation, comes not from avoidance, but from alignment? What if the true Sabbath is less about what you don't do and more about what you do with sacred intention? This isn't about adding another burden to your already heavy load. It's about understanding the true nature of the Sabbath, not as a legalistic obligation, but as a divine gift. It's not a day to simply stop doing wrong. It's a day to start doing right in a deeper, more intentional way. It's not about avoiding sin. It's about actively pursuing holiness. It's not about escaping the world. It's about encountering the Creator of the world. So you find yourself here listening. Perhaps you recognize that subtle misalignment Ravenhill spoke of. Perhaps you've felt the hollowness of worldly rest. You've tried to find peace in distraction, but it eludes you. You sought solace in silence, only to find your own thoughts shouting louder. You've yearned for something more substantial, something that truly nourishes your inner being. What if the rest you crave isn't found in a quiet room, but in a quiet heart? What if it's not in the absence of noise, but in the presence of His voice? What if it's not in endless sleep, but in awakened spirit? What if it's not in doing nothing, but in doing the most important thing? This profound spiritual posture, this invitation to a sacred pause, is far more than a break. It's a reorientation. It's a re-anchoring. It's a moment when you consciously choose to step out of the relentless current of human striving and into the eternal rhythm of divine grace. It's a deliberate turning, a conscious decision to lay down not just your tools, but your anxieties, your ambitions, your endless to-do lists, and simply be in His presence. It's a sacred halt that recalibrates your entire being, not just your body. Now, if this message resonates, if a quiet voice within you whispers, "Yes, this is what I've been missing," then consider a simple act. Tap that like button. It's more than just a click. It's a signal. It's an affirmation that this truth needs to reach more seeking hearts. It helps this message find others who are also mistaking inactivity for true rest, who are also yearning for a sacred halt in their own weary lives. It's a small act of stewardship, ensuring this conversation continues. You see, the common understanding is that rest is earned. You work hard, you deserve a break. And that's true on a human level. But the rest God commanded, the Sabbath, is not merely a reward for your labor. It's a foundational principle for your life. It's not something you earn. It's something you receive. It's not a human invention. It's a divine decree. And the true power of this rest, the countercultural insight you're about to discover, will transform how you approach every single day. It will redefine what it means to truly live. You might think you understand rest. You might believe it's the quiet after the storm, the stillness when the engines finally shut down. But what if that's only half the truth? What if the rest God commanded, the Sabbath He truly intended, is far more than a mere cessation of effort? What if it's a profound spiritual posture, an invitation to a sacred halt that reorients your entire being, not just a brief pause for your body? This isn't about merely stopping your work. It's about starting a different kind of work entirely. It is not about an empty calendar. It is about a full heart. It is not about escaping responsibility. It is about embracing a higher one. It is not about forgetting your burdens. It is about laying them at His feet. It is not about a quiet room. It is about a quiet soul. It is not about doing nothing. It is about doing the most important thing. Imagine a garden. Does it truly rest by being abandoned to weeds, its soil neglected? Or does it find its deepest rest in careful tending, in the rich soil being prepared, in seeds being sown in expectation of new life? A field lying fallow isn't idle. It's regenerating. It's actively drawing nutrients, preparing for a future harvest. It's a different kind of work entirely. Or consider a musician, their instrument silent. Is it truly resting if it's out of tune, neglected, gathering dust? Or does its most profound rest come from being perfectly calibrated, meticulously cared for, ready to sing forth the melody it was designed for? This is the essence of a sacred pause. This is the countercultural insight. True rest, the rest God commanded, is not passive. It is profoundly active. It is not an absence of doing, but an intentional presence with the divine. It's a purposeful engagement, a spiritual discipline that recharges your spirit by connecting it to its source. It's a deliberate choice to step out of the frantic rhythm of the world and into the eternal rhythm of grace. This is the reorientation your soul has been craving. If this truth stirs something within you, if you feel the weight of this revelation settle in your spirit, then make a choice, not just to listen, but to commit, to choose this deeper, active rest. Write these words in the comments below as a public declaration of an intimate decision. I choose sacred presence. Let it be an anchor for your commitment to this new understanding. And if you know someone, even just one person, who is weary, chasing fleeting rest, confusing idleness with divine peace, share this message with them. Send it to that friend, that family member, that colleague who came to mind. You might just be offering them the map to the rest their soul truly needs. And if you are ready to walk this path with us, to practice this sacred rhythm not just once, but consistently, then consider joining the Upper Room Call. Subscribing is more than just clicking a button. It's an agreement. It's a covenant with yourself and with a community of seekers committing to weekly practice, weekly reorientation, weekly pursuit of this radical holiness. It is a step into a shared journey, a collective cry for revival that begins with the holy surrender of individual hearts. There is more to uncover, more to integrate, more to live out. This understanding, this sacred pause, is just the beginning of a transformation. This understanding, this sacred pause, is just the beginning of a transformation. But transformation, you know, is rarely comfortable. It demands a letting go of what you thought you knew, a shedding of habits that feel familiar, even if they leave you empty. The world has conditioned you to associate rest with an absence, a void, a time when nothing is required of you. You've been taught to seek solace in the passive, in the endless scroll, in the quiet hum of a screen. But that quiet often only amplifies the internal noise, doesn't it? It leaves your spirit restless, hungry for something it cannot name, something that mere inactivity can never provide. You've tried to turn off the world, haven't you? You've closed your eyes, silenced your notifications, sought out moments of perfect stillness. And yet, the relentless currents of your own thoughts, the anxieties that cling to your spirit, they often rush in to fill that vacuum. They drown out any hope of genuine peace. This is because true rest, the divine rest, is not merely about stopping the bad. It is about starting the good. It is about actively engaging the sacred. It is about aligning your deepest self with the very heart of your Creator. Think of a deep-sea diver. They don't find rest by simply floating aimlessly on the surface, exposed to every storm and current. No, they descend. They go deeper into the profound stillness and pressure of the depths, where the chaos of the surface cannot reach. There, in that deeper engagement, in that deliberate exploration of another realm, they find a different kind of calm, a profound quiet born not of emptiness, but of immersion. This is the essence of that profound spiritual posture we speak of. It is an invitation to descend, to immerse. You ask, perhaps, how does one cultivate such a rest? How do you begin this different kind of work? It starts with intention. It begins with acknowledging that the rest you've been chasing is often a mirage, a diluted imitation of what your soul truly requires. It requires a conscious decision to move from passive consumption to active communion, from merely avoiding distractions to actively seeking presence. This is a commitment to a sacred rhythm, a reorientation that touches every corner of your life. It means designating time, yes, but not just any time. It means carving out space for genuine spiritual engagement. It means choosing to fill that space not with more noise, but with the quiet, transformative work of the Spirit. It means allowing yourself to be recalibrated. Do you believe you can truly find peace by simply turning off the world without turning to Him? Is your soul truly nourished by mere silence or by the voice that speaks in the silence? Can you truly be renewed by doing nothing or by doing the most important thing, the work of connecting your spirit to its source? This is where the upper room call finds its purpose. We're not here to offer you another set of rules to follow, another burden to carry. We're here to walk alongside you as a community in the rediscovery of this divine pattern. It's a shared commitment to radical holiness, to a deeper form of discipleship that begins with this redefinition of rest. It's a collective journey of learning to live in a sacred pause, not as an escape from life, but as the very wellspring of life. It's a realization that your spiritual battery isn't recharged by simply unplugging it from the world. It's recharged by plugging it directly into the divine current. It's a shift from a frantic, fear-driven pace to a rhythm of grace and intentionality. It's about finding your true anchor, not in the fleeting comforts of the world, but in the steadfast presence of God. This isn't just about Saturday anymore. It's about reshaping. The profound spiritual posture you are invited into is not a fleeting moment, but a sustained way of being. It's an invitation to a sacred halt that truly reorients not just for a day, but for a lifetime. The path forward, the practical steps to embed this truth into your daily reality, are waiting to be unveiled. But first, you must truly grasp the depth of this turning point. You must understand that this isn't just a concept, it's a commitment, it's a way of life. The world tells you to pause, to breathe, to take a break. It offers you a weekend getaway, a Netflix binge, a silent retreat. But how many times have you returned from those moments feeling just as unfulfilled, just as restless, just as spiritually parched as when you began? You've exchanged one form of exhaustion for another. You've traded the noise of the office for the noise of your own unaddressed anxieties. That isn't rest. That isn't the divine invitation. That is merely a different kind of distraction, a sophisticated form of spiritual bypassing. This profound spiritual posture, this sacred pause, isn't a passive state you fall into. It is an active cultivation. It's a deliberate turning away from the seductive illusion of worldly peace, and a conscious turning towards the only source of enduring peace. You cannot simply step away from the chaos and expect serenity to fill the void. No, you must actively invite it. You must actively engage with the presence that is peace. Consider the athlete. They don't rest by sitting idly, letting their muscles atrophy. They rest by purposeful recovery, by nourishing their body, by stretching and strengthening in ways that prepare them for the next exertion. Their rest is an active part of their training, a vital component of their performance. In the same way, your spiritual rest is not an absence of spiritual discipline. It is the very essence of it. It's not a retreat from God, but a deeper draw to Him. It is not merely an absence of noise, it is a presence of peace. It is not merely a break from labor, it is a labor of love. It is not merely a quiet moment, it is a moment of profound communion. It is not merely a cessation of effort, it is a commencement of worship. You've been told to unplug, and yes, disconnecting from the world's clamor is necessary. But what do you plug into then? Do you simply float in the emptiness, hoping something will materialize? Or do you consciously, intentionally plug into the divine current that alone can truly recharge your soul? This is the commitment we speak of. This is the reorientation that shifts your entire being. This is the difference between a temporary reprieve and a permanent recalibration. Leonard Ravenhill understood that the true Sabbath was a spiritual declaration, a radical act of faith in a world obsessed with doing. He knew that the greatest work we could ever undertake was to cease from our own striving and enter into God's provision. He saw that many were exhausted, not from working too much, but from resting too little in the right way, from failing to truly experience a sacred pause. This isn't just about a day of the week. It's about a posture of the heart that permeates every single day. It's about learning to carry that sense of sacred pause into your Monday morning meeting, into your Tuesday evening errands, into your Wednesday afternoon with your children. It's about recognizing that every moment holds the potential for this profound engagement, this active communion, if you choose it. How often do you mistake idleness for intimacy? How often do you confuse distraction with delight? Do you truly believe that your deepest needs can be met by simply doing less, or by doing something fundamentally different, something sacred? This is a question that cuts to the core of your spiritual hunger. It demands an honest answer, not just from your mind, but from your very soul. The world offers you escape. God offers you encounter. The world offers you a temporary quiet. God offers you an eternal peace. The world tells you to find yourself by forgetting, by numbing. God invites you to find yourself by remembering, by awakening to His presence within you. This is the profound shift. This is the turning point that Ravenhill called us to. This is the invitation to embrace a rest that is not a void, but a fullness. A rest that is not an end, but a beginning. The question now becomes, how do you integrate this truth into the relentless current of your everyday life? How do you take this profound understanding and transform it into tangible action? The path to that deeper, more authentic Sabbath, to that continuous sacred pause, awaits your intentional steps. The path to that deeper, more authentic Sabbath, to that continuous sacred pause, awaits your intentional steps. You've seen how the world offers a pale imitation of peace, a temporary quiet that often leaves your spirit more parched than before. You've recognized the profound difference between merely stopping your work and actively beginning a different kind of work entirely, a work of the Spirit, a sacred engagement. This isn't about adding another item to your impossible to-do list. It's about transforming the nature of your being, about recalibrating your entire existence to an eternal rhythm. This is the integration. This is the synthesis of everything we've explored. The superficial understanding of rest, the pervasive exhaustion, the countercultural truth of active spiritual engagement, and the profound reorientation that comes from embracing a sacred pause. It's the realization that true rest isn't found in the absence of activity, but in the presence of the divine. It's not a void to be filled, but a sacred space to be entered. It's a profound spiritual posture that reorients your entire being, not just a brief pause for your body. So, how do you begin? How do you step into this deeper, more authentic Sabbath? For the days ahead, consider these 3 steps, not as burdens, but as invitations to liberation. First, designate a specific, non-negotiable block of time, perhaps next Saturday, or even tomorrow. Carve it out. Let it be a sacred appointment on your calendar, a time for intentional spiritual rest, completely freed from digital distractions and household chores. This isn't just about clearing your schedule, it's about consecrating a portion of your time to Him, a deliberate act of surrender and expectation. Second, identify one area where you've been mistaking inactivity for true rest. Perhaps it's endless scrolling, or passive entertainment, or simply lying still while your mind races. Now, commit to an active spiritual discipline instead. It could be extended prayer, not just hurried words, but deep communion. It could be profound scripture meditation, allowing His Word to permeate your soul, or quiet contemplation of His goodness, simply being present with His presence. This is the work of the Spirit, the purposeful engagement that truly nourishes. Third, share this journey. Find a trusted brother or sister, someone who understands the hunger for deeper truth, and share your commitment to this new understanding of rest. Seek accountability. Embrace communal support in your pursuit of a more authentic Sabbath. This isn't a solitary path, it's a shared commitment, a collective awakening. We are called to walk together, to uphold one another, as we learn to truly rest in Him. This is the power of a sacred pause. It's a turning point that begins with a decision, an intention, and then with deliberate, consistent steps. It's the understanding that the rest God commanded is not merely a break from your work, but a commencement of a deeper, more meaningful labor, the labor of love, of worship, of profound communion. It's a rest that transforms your soul, recalibrates your spirit, and anchors your life in His eternal grace. If this message has clarified something for you, if it has stirred a deep longing for this authentic rest, then let that like button be your affirmation. It's more than just a click. It's a signal that this truth needs to reach more seeking hearts, more weary souls, mistaking inactivity for peace. It helps this message find others also yearning for a sacred pause in their own lives. Now, make a declaration, a quiet commitment. In the comments below, write this phrase, not just as a comment, but as a deliberate act of choosing where you find your steadiness, your peace. Write, His rest, my anchor. And if you're ready to truly embark on this journey, to make this sacred pause a consistent rhythm in your life, then join us at Upper Room Call. Subscribing isn't just a click, It's stepping into a fellowship of souls hungry for radical holiness. It's a shared commitment to seeking God's transformative rest together, week after week. Turn on notifications so you don't miss another invitation to this deeper walk. Perhaps there are 1 to 3 people who came to mind as you heard these words. Someone exhausted, searching, confusing idleness with divine peace. Send this to them. Share this message. Offer them this invitation to a deeper truth, a true anchor for their weary spirit. Let your soul find its true anchor.